Good evening. Tracy Potter, candidate for the United States Senate. State Senator here in Bismarck. We're on my deck for another in our series of Grillside chats. Tonight I want to talk about the transition of the United States from being a superpower to being a secure power. We became a superpower during World War II, and at the conclusion of that war, there were two world superpowers, the Soviet Union and the United States, and they stood first as friends and allies at the end of the war, and then as dangers to each other. The Soviet Union presented us with a clear threat to the freedom that we would like to see in that post-war world, as they conquered Eastern Europe and left their troops in place to put in puppet regimes, communist regimes, in all the countries of Eastern Europe. And then China fell in 1950 to the Communist Party under Mao Zedong, and they allied to some extent with the Soviet Union. And we saw this broad swath of the world that was communist, and we stood as the superpower of freedom against that. And we left our troops in Germany. We stationed troops and nuclear missiles in Turkey. And we left our troops in Okinawa, in Japan, and Korea. It was a policy of containment. We fought hot wars during the Cold War, Korea and Vietnam. But at the conclusion of the Cold War, the Soviet Union collapsed, and we became the world's only superpower. This is a dangerous position to be in. I suppose it makes us feel more secure because we are the one superpower in the world, and we can defeat any nation militarily. Certainly we can. We can send our troops into any nation, kick open any door, and take any objective, conquer any objective. We can do that. We have the finest Navy, the finest Army, and the finest Air Force in the world. But what does being a superpower mean to our quality of life? Does it make us more welcome when we travel abroad? Does it make us richer as a nation? No, it's very costly, isn't it? To maintain troops all around the globe, to fight a constant war, really a constant war, 7 years in Iraq, 9 years in Afghanistan. No nation on earth can maintain military forces around the globe and fight a constant war and remain strong economically. And if we are not strong economically, we cannot be strong militarily. So it is my proposal, and I think it's just a matter of reality, pragmatism, that the United States step away from being the world's superpower, always on call, for wherever there's trouble in the world, to send our troops. I think we have to be very judicious in the use of our troops. I think we need to inculcate our alliances with other nations, but not be sending our troops into battle needlessly as in Iraq, or forever as in Afghanistan. It's time to bring them home and treat them right. 65 years after my father was wounded in the Marine invasion of Okinawa, we still have 15,000 Marines there. Who are they defending Okinawa from? I would argue that the only potential enemy, the only potential reason to have 15,000 Marines on Okinawa is if we got into a shooting war with China. How do we station our troops in Okinawa? Well, the Japanese help us pay for some of it, and then we put the rest on the credit card. That is, we borrow from China to station troops near them. This can't go on. It's time for the United States to have a smarter deployment of its forces. Bring those troops home, treat them right, and make them equipped to fight in the 21st century. The finest Air Force, the finest Navy, the finest and best trained Army and Marines in the world. Best equipped and best trained. And at a lower cost than the $750 billion that we're spending this year on military adventures. This is just a matter of simple pragmatism. We have to end this role of being a superpower. No one else needs to take that role. We just need to be a secure power. Secure in our strength, secure in the knowledge that when we commit American forces, it's with a clear exit strategy, and it's for the right causes. That'll be my fight in the United States Senate. I'm Tracy Potter, candidate for the United States Senate in North Dakota. This is September 5th. See you next Sunday night.